Okay, so I think we're live.
Yep, we're live.
Okay.
Hi.
I think it's still setting up the Zoom. Okay. Sorry. Hello, hello.
Hi, everyone.
We're live today with Candace from Secondhand Soil.
How's everybody doing?
And I'm Gigi with Making Vegans and Middle Georgia Health Safe. We may have a third come and join us today, Mr. Armando with the New Jersey Climate Safe. So we're going to give it a few moments. But in the meantime, we can talk a little bit about last week, or I'm sorry, this Monday's video or Tuesday. We had a few things in there. We introduced something a little bit new that Armando has not yet been able to join us in, but he will be, which is vertical gardening. So we have started our experiment on the vertical gardening for people who may not have the space, backyard space to grow a garden. We are trying to experiment with some vertical gardening so that, you don't have the space, you can just hang something up on your wall and grow. So I was speaking with Ms. Candace a little bit earlier about some issues I have been facing with my vertical garden. I hung it up on a wall, which does not necessarily receive a lot of sunlight. It's only been a couple weeks though since I planted my seeds in there. So we did plant seeds directly into the pockets of the vertical garden sheet. It's only been a couple weeks, like I said, but I have yet to have one seed sprout. And what about you, Candace? Can you share a little bit about your experience with that so far?
I have a few seedlings already, but maybe that's because I'm using compost instead of potting soil. But also, I have planted some herbs, which would be ideal for the vertical garden, but I've also planted some vining vegetables that I was going to do an experiment with, maybe kind of train them to grow around the wall or the fence or whatever you have it hanging on to see if that works.
Yeah, so that was one thing I was thinking of moving my vertical garden from my wall and maybe speaking with a neighbor. Maybe if I can hang it on one of their walls, or if I could speak with the neighbor that's in a house next to our apartments and maybe hang it on their fence, which is across from us.
What kind of things did you plant?
So I did plant herbs. I thought herbs might be hardier, a little bit easier to do. Oh, and look, we have our third participant for today has joined us, Armando with New Jersey Climate Safe. Hello.
Hey, Armando.
Hello. I apologize for being late. Work ran a little bit later than expected, but I'm glad to be here now with all of you.
Yeah. We were just talking about our experience so far with our vertical gardening experiment.
Awesome. I just received mine yesterday, so I'm going to do it today. Woo!
That's awesome.
Yes, the post office took a little bit longer than expected, but I just got it yesterday, so all right, we're ready.
Yes.
I've already got seedlings going.
That's right, because next week we're going to be talking about transplanting some seedlings, and Candace is preparing for that already.
Yeah, today is April 15th, so I can go ahead and do that. You can go ahead and transplant them.
So that is your recommended last frost date?
Right, yes.
Awesome. I think ours is still April 25th up here in New Jersey. So it's still getting a little bit chilly at night. So I'm a little bit concerned still.
That's actually a lot earlier than I was thinking y'all could do it up there. I was thinking
Yeah.
like the end of May.
No, late April is usually our last frost unless it has changed. But as you know, global warming is
Right. Yeah, there you go.
is taking a toll, and it's been a lot warmer than usual.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I do also have seedlings out there. Actually, they're outside right now getting acclimated to this weather. So when they get out, and as you probably have done also, Candace, they don't get as much shock as they would.
Yes, mine have been outside.
Awesome. And that's also a great reason to use the toilet paper rolls, as we have shown, that it's much easier for the seedlings because you don't have to break as much of the roots, and there's less shock for the plant.
You can just open the bottom of that thing and put it right in the ground.
That's right.
Easy peasy.
So I really liked your segment on the nutritional value of some of the foods that we eat. It's really important now. I just reminded myself because I had a little thing in my throat, but it is important to because everything that you eat has some kind of value to it. So if you're putting, you want to go ahead and get the most out of everything that you're putting in your body. So this goes with the things that you're growing, right? You're going to choose certain foods and certain things that you grow, not just based on your environment. Obviously, that's the first thing. You want to choose things that will grow where you live, in your zone. At the right time, you want to plant it, and certain things don't grow as well in certain areas. But you also want to make sure that you're growing foods and you're eating and consuming the foods that are good for your health, because keeping a healthy immune system, which were some of the foods that Armando had mentioned, foods to boost our immune system, is a great way to keep you healthy and to keep you from catching, other illnesses. Especially.
Yeah, absolutely. I think when people eat, especially fruits of different colors, so we tell our kids usually eat the rainbow. So eat fruits and vegetables of different colors, because the fruits and vegetables of different colors have different types of vitamins and minerals and antioxidants. So when you are cooking and making different dishes with a lot of colors, that could mean that you are eating a lot of the different fruits and vitamins and minerals that will help you to be healthy and to fight any diseases and from getting sick.
So what is your favorite, Armando, your favorite that you grow, that is your favorite for your, boosting your immunity? Like if you do get sick or you're feeling under the weather, what do you go to in your garden?
I think I go to my dark leafy greens. I've been trying to grow kale, collard greens, chard, the different color chard. It's really cool when you put it in your salads, or when you put on your plate, just the different colors. You have the purple, the yellow, the green. It's really nice to see those, and those are packed with different vitamins and minerals, especially if you grow them in your backyard. You pick them at their ripest point. You know what you put on them. You know that you don't put any pesticides, anything like that. So it's safe to eat, sometimes even just out of the ground.
Right.
And that's one of the things that I eat. The tomatoes, of course, and also squash, so the zucchinis. How about you, Candace?
I was gonna say tomatoes because those are like the go-to vegetable for antioxidants.
What's your take on, there's so many benefits to growing it yourself. You know, Armando mentioned the pesticides, but what about being able to actually get your fruit and your vegetables at the peak of ripeness?
Right, they won't be frozen, they won't be canned, and then they won't lose any of that nutritional value. Like, because the longer after you pick them, the longer they sit, the more they lose. You can pick them the same day and then eat them, right away.
Yeah, exactly. And also when you pick fruits at their greenest point, so if they have to travel long distances, right, you have to pick them green, and the greener they are, the less nutrition value they also have. So that's
Right.
one of the reasons why, let's say tomatoes are, if it's a red tomato, if the tomatoes are green, they have less antioxidants than when they are at their full bright color.
Right.
And those antioxidants are what's keeping your immune system strong.
I want to say hello to Animal Save Movement, Augusta, Georgia. They're watching along with us. Hello.
Hi.
I just want to say thanks for joining us and thanks for watching.
Yes, thank you.
So we have, I think Armando had mentioned that when we tell our kids to eat the rainbow, and I know one thing too that I've noticed, at least as a parent with my own children, is the more involved they are with the food, doesn't matter what part of the process, but the more involved they are with the food that they are given to eat, the more likely they are to eat it. A lot of times I've noticed, I have my kids in the kitchen and they'll make something and it maybe it doesn't look the best. It may not look the prettiest. It may even have burned a little bit, but because they made it, they want to eat it.
Right, there's a sense of pride, a sense of accomplishment there.
That's right. So you can get some really good nutritional value into children just by giving them, that little bit of autonomy and independence, whether it be in the garden or in the kitchen, because we did have a couple of great recipes this week. We have vegan nachos with Cadence, which were great. I love her energy and her nachos, and she just.
I'm gonna try to get her to do one of those a week, and maybe she'll, work the kinks out. She won't be so nervous.
No, she did great, and I could tell that it's a snack that she likes, and these are things that we don't always think about, but maybe nachos aren't necessarily something that you think about as being a healthy food or snack alternative, but it is. It all depends on what you put on it.
Right.
And with her avocados and the tomatoes, forget about it. It was a great, healthy snack, easy to make, simple. And, you get these kids involved and they start making, all sorts of great things you wouldn't even imagine yourself.
You can send me some recipes that I can pass along to her. Yeah.
I've got some good no-bake.
I also want to mention that if there are any of our watchers or listeners, if they have any recipes they would like us to try.
Oh, yes.
If they want to show us any recipes that they've made, we do want to encourage you to send it to us. Either you making the recipe, sending us pictures, or sending us suggestions of something you'd like us to make. If you don't want to run the risk of doing something wrong or something like that, we can definitely do it for you. And also, I want to I don't know if we answered completely the question from Animal Save Movement Augusta, if does the value of the veggie, etc., change if picked early and left off the left off vine to ripen? So let's say, I know I mentioned the tomatoes, if they change color, that means that they're ripen, they're more ripe. But sometimes things like bananas, for example, they're picked extremely green, and they are, when they are shipped overseas, they are usually going to a warehouse where they are gassed, and that will start the ripening process. That is different from the ripening process if they are still attached to the tree. So if you are taking the banana from the tree, it is no longer receiving nutrients from that tree. So the nutritional value is completely different from ripening in the vine connected to the plant, or ripening when it's already picked out of the plant.
Right.
Yeah, there's a big difference. And I want to ask you, because I've talked to certain people about this, and I've noticed a difference in fruits and vegetables that I buy at the grocery store from when I was a kid. Like the bananas that Armando mentioned, I can put them in the refrigerator and they don't turn brown. But I remember, but again, we grew our own bananas when I was a kid. We had a banana tree. I could not put a banana in the refrigerator because it would turn brown almost instantly. And now I put them in the refrigerator and they don't, that does not happen. I don't know, someone had mentioned that they were irradiated. Is that the gassing process that you had mentioned?
Bananas are irradiated naturally.
Okay, so what's going on with that? Is that because of the gassing process then, that I can put them in the refrigerator now? Or is it because it's a different type of banana maybe?
I don't know. Armando, do you know?
I don't know. I know the bananas that are sold nowadays throughout the world, the most famous banana, the Cabernet type, that banana is gassed once it gets to, so the bananas grows in a tree, it gets from the farmer to a distribution center, from the distribution center it gets shipped or flown anywhere in the world, and then when it gets to the location, it goes from the port to another distribution center where there they gas it.
What kind of gas do they use?
I don't recall right now.
Is it like a preservative?
No, it's just to start the ripening process of a banana.
Okay.
So maybe we'll find some links with some information on this, some more information, and we'll post it on here later too for everyone, whatever it is that we're talking about right now, so that you can learn along with us.
But bananas are naturally radioactive, but I mean, not enough to, hurt you or anything.
Yeah, they produce this specific gas. I can't recall right now the name, but I think it's the one they use artificial is ethylene.
Okay.
And that's why if you put other fruits next to bananas or apples, they will ripen faster too. Yeah, that's what I have. That's what I have with the nutrition value. There is, I believe there is a difference between growing plants, letting them ripen on the vine compared to ripen them off the vine.
Gigi, maybe the refrigerators got better instead of the bananas.
Right. No, yeah. And I'm sure it must have something to do with the fact that the bananas that we grew were not the bananas that are commercially available.
Did you grow a different variety?
Yeah, just like we had the avocados, which were also a different variety from what you can get at the grocery store. We had, and that's another thing. There are so many different varieties of fruits and vegetables, tomatoes, bananas, avocados, you name it, citrus fruits. There's so many variations, and we get trapped into eating the ones that are commercially available,
Right.
that don't necessarily always have the most nutritional value because of all sorts of different factors, right? Because they're not being picked at the peak of ripeness. They are being, that species or that family of fruit or vegetables being chosen because, of, I guess it's, maybe it's easy to grow. It is,
Right.
Maybe hardy or whatever, not because of the nutritional value. And like Armando had mentioned, the brighter the color, the more color it has, the more nutritional value the food has. And that's not necessarily what, the industry is doing when they're choosing these fruits and vegetables to be commercially, grown. They're not choosing it for those purposes. So when we grow our own fruits and vegetables at home, we do have that option. We can go ahead and have more varieties. I did buy some seeds this year for some chocolate cherry tomatoes.
Oh.
My kids picked those seeds. But
Let me know how that tastes.
I know, yeah, I will. But those are the types of things too that we kind of lose out on when we are stuck buying fruits and vegetables at the grocery store, when the grocery store is our only option, if we do have that option, if we're lucky enough to have that option, because you just don't get that variety, which is so important and key when we're talking about getting, proper nutritional value. You want the most variety as possible, which is not always what you're going to get when you go to the grocery store. But you can supplement that with your own garden.
Yeah. Have you spoken about our edibles yet? Our wild edibles, picking wild edibles yet?
No.
No.
Okay. Do we want to shift towards that or no?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think this week's was the broadleaf eggplant.
So we did hold back on that this week. We will be introducing the foraging, because the foraging and the environmental segments are all part of sustainable living, which is one of the segments that we're adding on to Learning While Growing. So we will be alternating.
So stay tuned.
That's right. Stay tuned.
I know you're on the edge of your seat.
That was just a test.
Well, but we are adding this segment on sustainable living because we do want to, we want to empower you with that knowledge so that you can become more sustainable. So this week's sustainable living was about recycling, and it was great. Candace, can you talk a little bit more about what it is that you do?
I started a recycling service. Basically, I pick up all your food scraps. I pick up your cardboard, catalogs, junk mail, glass, and then I sort it. And the stuff that I can use for compost, I turn it into soil. And the rest of it, I take to a recycling center.
Awesome. Candace, is there any paper that you do not, or what kind of paper do you put on the compost compared to the paper that you would not put in the compost? You want to speak a little bit about that?
The like the magazines and stuff have it's that glossy paper, and it has like ink in it, which has heavy metals in it, and I don't want that in my compost. But I use newspaper. I use just like plain computer paper. I can use the cardboard. I just have to shred it up. Basically, the only thing that I keep out are the magazines and the paperboard stuff, like cereal boxes, stuff like that that might have heavy metals in them.
So anything pretty much with the shiny coloring and
just the glossy.
A lot of coloring. Yeah. Okay. I just wanted to clear it up because sometimes people just think just because it is still paper that it's okay to throw in there, but they might want to stay away from those.
Well, I'm sure that I use worms in my compost, so I'm sure that they can mitigate, all of that out. But if I can recycle it, I would rather do that because, they don't have to cut down as many trees that way. So Gigi, did you want to talk about the worms in compost?
Yeah, so that, that is a question that we had, that we were talking about. This is a plant-based initiative. We are promoting plant-based vegan living. So we did have that question about, are using worms in compost, is that vegan or not?
What do you think, Armando?
Insert.
Sorry. I so I always thought about, should I get worms for my compost too? But I've been trying to improve my soil. Hopefully that will mean more worms. So what I did this time, and I have some footage about that, I went to grab some wood chips, because I noticed that on the part of my garden where I have a lot of wood chips that have been there since last year, when I was just moving it around, there's a lot of worms on that area. So I'm like, let me try it out and bring more wood chips to my compost area, which I think it was missing some carbon. And that was one of the things that I think I got from one of your lessons. It's like, always make sure you have 2 times the carbon as you have of the nitrogen. So I was like, oh, maybe that's something that I'm missing, to try to get more worms to multiply. But I think the worms are definitely a great addition to compost, and
because we're not holding them captive, so
yeah, no, of course not. I mean, it's like feeding your companion pet, right?
Right.
Or feeding birds outside and not giving them anything that's harmful for them. You're just putting food out for them.
Right, and they occur in soil and compost naturally.
Yeah, of course.
Yes. Yeah, that was something that we had been speaking about, because we had heard that some people did not consider it
Vegan.
right.
Yeah.
But like you say, they are free.
We're not. It's not like we are grabbing them. I mean, I'm not grabbing them, and because I know there's some certain worm compost materials out there that you can bring everything indoors in the house,
right?
And that might not be as natural. However, and I don't know what the science is on this. I don't know if worms die during the winter or they just go deeper in the ground. But if by you bringing some inside during the winter, if you are saving them and feeding them while also composting,
right.
I don't think I would be completely opposed about that. It's almost like bringing your pet friend dog inside the house instead of keeping them outside in the winter. I don't think it's a bad thing.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
I agree. It is. I think that they're like neat little pets.
Yeah.
In your garden.
I love my worms so much.
Yeah, I mean, you're not taking the food away from them. You're providing them with food, and then you're taking that compost away, which they don't need to survive, and giving them more food so they can continue to live, because that compost will not become food for them, like honey, for example, right? Bees grow and save honey, which they need in the winter to survive. The compost is, for a lack of a better word, it's the worm's poop.
That's
right. So they're not going to eat it back. So you just
and you use it to grow more fruits and vegetables.
Exactly. It's part of this. This is the real part of circle of life.
Yeah, it completes the food cycle.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, I just wanted to clear that up.
Yes.
Yeah, we because we did have that in last week's or in this week's segment, so just wanted to.
I did put them in a bin. Should I find some other way to do that?
What kind, is it the cardboard one?
No, it's a plastic one.
The
But
plastic?
I wanted to show within that little, like biosphere, how the compost breaks down and the worms help. And then I was going to plant something in there. But I can find something else to do.
I think, it would be cool to use something like an aquarium, right?
Right.
But keep the bottom open so it still be see-through.
Right.
And you can maybe see even the worms going. And as you put the food on top, they'll travel up towards the food and you can still see them that way.
Right, and having the bottom open is keeping them
Yeah,
still
I
free.
think even in the bin that you have, if you keep the bottom open somewhat, I don't know if it is already or not, they can travel up and down as they wish.
Okay.
And it also reduce any issues with drainage. And you probably already have the drainage holes in it.
Right.
So that's enough for them to be able to travel whatever they want.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. I'll just
Right,
keep doing
I think that's just the issue. You just don't want to keep them completely captive.
Right.
And I mean, we all learn. We're not perfect. Nobody's perfect. We're constantly learning and evolving. So I could be doing something wrong myself, and I never thought of it. And I'm glad I'm glad people are bringing it to our attention, which we do appreciate. We don't want people to stop sharing their ideas or concerns.
Right. We're willing to learn.
Yeah, absolutely. None of us are. We don't know it all, right?
Right.
Everybody. No, if anybody thinks they know it all, then it's an issue.
Oh, Animal Safe Movement says that the worms do go deep in the winter.
Okay. Awesome. That's great to know.
So yeah,
That was.
they go deep in the winter. I don't know, I guess next week we're going to have some more exciting things like Armando had mentioned about the foraging. We're going to be adding that. We will be talking about some plants that are commonly found pretty much anywhere, like the broadleaf plantain, which is a weed. It's not native to the United States. It came from Europe and Asia. So it is an invasive. However, it's been here for so long.
It's everywhere.
Yeah, it is all over the United States. You can find it anywhere. But it's actually, it has all sorts of beneficial properties. It's edible. It can be eaten like food. You can have the leaves raw. You can eat it like a salad. So you can use it to sustain you, but it also has medicinal properties that, you can get benefits from these properties either through ingesting it, but also through topical applications like making ointments. So, like Armando said, stay tuned because we'll have all that information.
And I will give you an update.
That's right.
I'll also give you an update on my mint. My chocolate mint is looking pretty nice now.
And I'm going to transplant some seedlings, get you caught up on the compost and check out our vertical gardening.
Yes, and also I'll do a video also on the unboxing of Gigi's box.
Oh, yay!
So I'll be wearing my gloves and protective gear because it has been going through the mail across the country. So thank you for sending that, Gigi. I appreciate it. And I'll also you also see a video if you haven't seen already about how I turn my compost. Did we do that yet, Gigi, or no?
No, we did have, I think the week before last, you've been steady every week showing us about the composting. I want to say that I haven't seen you turn it yet, or at least I haven't. Oh yeah, we haven't seen.
I wasn't sure if I sent it to you already or not, but that is, I know Candace is showing you how to do a compost, even though she does it in a very large scale. In the bin.
I can show you. I'm going to turn that compost you know, within the next week if you want me to take a video of that. I mean, that's a massive undertaking.
Yeah,
I'm-
I'm
yeah.
sure. Yeah, I have like my pitchfork and everything. I'm like,
Yeah, me too.
So that'll be nice to see how you do it, how I do it, and kind of people see different ways of doing it. Possibly, I'm sure we'll probably do it very similar. But they'll be coming to you soon as well.
That's right. No, you'll be learning. We're going to be sharing. Again, the idea here is just to empower you with as much information, you know, from our own experiences as possible, so that you can learn along with us. You know, you won't make the same mistakes we'll make. You can, you know, we really just want to. We want you to be able to create your own access to the healthiest food possible for yourself, and you know, for those in your household.
All right. Can't wait for next week.
Yeah, and of course we're also going to have our of course our easy peasy vegan snacks
Yes.
that anybody can make. Have you tried the vegan fudge yet?
I have not yet.
Have you tried the nachos?
Yes, actually.
Have you tried the cucumber?
We did the nachos.
You did?
Yes.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Yes. I think my children are still young, but they're old enough. So I do take them grocery shopping with me, and they are old enough to know how to influence me and really manipulate me into getting what they want. And as soon as they saw Cadence making those nachos, they were like, "We're making nachos too, Mama."
Nice. Well, yay.
There you go. That's good.
Yeah. So yeah, we are trying the recipes. We are we're having a good time sharing our experiences with everyone, and we hope that you all just keep following along with us. Send us send us your documentation of what you're doing. If you're planting in the garden, send us videos of that. If you're cooking in your kitchen, send us videos of that, or pictures. We have a monthly kids corner segment. So send us your pictures, kids. You know, if you made a really cool lunch for yourself, go ahead and take a picture and send it to us. We'll feature it in the kids corner on the show, on Learning While Growing, and everyone can see your fabulous dish. If you are the same thing, whatever's going on in your garden, just send it to us. makinvegans@writeme.com. That's MACONVEGANS @writeme.com. And we'll feature that in our show. And if you need some seeds, or we're still in time for planting, just send us an email too, and we will send that out to you. Send us an email with your mailing address, and we will send you a little packet with some seeds and information.
And Write Me is all together, right? There's no period in between.
That's correct. It's
I'm adding that to the chat, to the comments right now.
Okay, RITEME.com.
In Animal Safe Movement, Augusta, Georgia, she will be back, but she enjoyed our video very much. Also, I want to say that for you to send us our video or pictures, they do not have to be perfect. Show us the real results. We'll show you our real results. I've been showing you my failures too. So don't be afraid to send us your videos of the fails too, because those are important for us to see as well.
Yeah, no, if nothing else, that's what failures are for, to learn from. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There's no success without failure.
That's right. Okay. Is there anything else that you all wanted to mention before we sign off, Candace or Armando?
I think we're good.
Yeah, I just want to encourage people to share it with your friends. we wanted this to be as widely available as possible. Thank you for watching.
Yes, thank you for
See
watching.
next week.
Yeah.
I'm sure you
And-
can't wait for those wild edibles.
And remember to subscribe to our channel.
Yes.
You know, we just started this. Subscribe so you don't miss out on any of our videos. We're still a little bit new at this, but we're keeping it going. We're going to keep bringing you great content to help empower you.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Well, we'll sign off for now, and please join us next Wednesday at 5 p.m. On our YouTube channel. We will see you soon.
Bye.